Changed hands 4 times over, and it probably came up, you know, it appreciated because you sold to Frank, and then Frank marked it up again, and then I marked it up. So there's some student out there that I sold that dillion to.
Hey, speaking of that, you know, that's the thing. You know, when Frank, when I quit Canned Heat, when I laid around for about 1.5 years, he goes, "Hey man," he goes, "How you doing?" I go, "Oh, I'm running low on dough, you know." And he goes, "Well, why don't you sell some of your stuff?" He goes, "Everybody else is making money off your name." And I could not believe what was going on. You know, I went into my pickup drawer and I found like some Bill Lawrence pickup, and oh, what the hell was the name of that company? I can't think of it, but it was sealed in epoxy. You couldn't even get in there to see what the pickup was. $187 because they realized this is the same guy that was selling stuff with my name on it, so they figured it was mine. Because I go, this is absurd. A Japanese tailpiece that looks like an L5 tailpiece but wasn't. $287. But those days are gone now.
And it was Frank.
Right. So at least I made a little bit of money off my name.
Yeah.
Everybody else made tons.
Right. More questions?
I got one.
Yeah.
Maybe you think my impression is wrong, but I think musicianship was a lot higher 50, 60, 70 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
So what were students or music students doing then that we don't do today?
Well, I think musicians in general were better back then. You know, there wasn't any kind of diversions in you know, styles. You know what I'm saying? It was more of a unified style of music. You know, I think there was a lot more studying in general going on back then. You know, of one kind of music. You know. That's what I think. I think some of the best music, that's my whole thing. Back in the 40s and early 50s, I think some of the best music was played ever. They're not advancing on jazz or blues, really.
So criticize students today.
Say again?
Criticize students today.
Well, I don't know about that. Like I say, there's just too many distractions today. There's there's so much emphasis on speed and other things that aren't really necessary. You know, I mean, like GIT. If you're a student from there, you're going to sound like Robin Ford. You know, and you're going to get one tone. You know what kind of a thought is that? You should learn how to play music. You should learn, you know, everything about it. You know, not just say this is the way you're going to end up. You should end up as what you want to be. You see what I'm saying? You should just learn music and just whatever kind of music you play, try to just be as good as you can be.
And that's indicative when you teach, correct?
I try to teach that way.
Right, right. You find, you know, what attributes do you look in students? We talked about, you know, you assess your student not based on, you know, on their level, but as far as continuing lessons.
Okay, well, I got to say, I think my top 3 students of all time, in this order, from the time they played, was Rick Holmstrom. That was about 1985. He was a kid, and, you know, he had dexterity like hell. And the next one was Kurt Fletcher, and Rick is a fantastic musician. Now, I mean, you know, but I knew he was going to be a great musician because he had great time, he had great touch on the guitar, and he had the feel. But he didn't know what to do with it, you know what I'm saying? So I go, look, man, with a guy like that, I don't waste my time trying to teach him licks. I just give them an avenue that they want to go down and show them what's not really out there, because I just broke out a bunch of records. You know, and I go, look at this, man. Here's a guy right here. You probably never heard of him. He goes, that's amazing. And he's like, phew, I get it now. Yeah. You got to take a little bit from this guy, a little bit from this guy, and figure out why they're doing what they're doing, and then, you know, expound on that. You know, try to do not what they're exactly doing. Because I hate learning. I mean, I learned maybe 4 songs in my life, Big Boy being one of them. I had to learn Bill Jennings a couple of those songs to figure out why is he doing.
Why does it work the way it works?
Why are the positions like that? You know, I mean, because he was left-handed upside down. And, you know, that's basically what I've.
So what were the other 3 songs you learned?
I learned Honey Boy, which is actually by Billy Butler, and Bill Jennings was Billy Butler's idol. As a matter of fact, when I met him, he was playing with Charles Brown. We played at Tramps in Manhattan in 1982, and I have it on tape, and it is unbelievable. For the fact that it was Charles Brown playing piano, Bobby Forrester playing organ and kick and bass, Billy Butler and Belton Evans on drums, and it's a lesson in holes, you know what I mean? It's like, ding, dong, ding. and it just, you know what I'm saying, there's so much space. I don't know who said it years ago, I think it was this guy, Warren Nunes, that played with my mom, played guitar with my mom. He goes, it's not what you play, it's the space in between the notes that makes people really, you can play in slow motion, but if you're playing something cool, it's the holes in between the notes. So.
Who was your third student?
My third student was Kurt Fletcher, and you were the third student.
Was I number 3?
No, you were Kurt was number 2, and you were number 3. Other than that, most guys, you know, you look at it and you go,
I'm going to put myself on that, Well, good, maybe they'll give me more students, you know.
There you go.
Good, I'll pay you after that. Any more questions from the audience?
When you're playing, you throw a comedy element in a lot of what you're doing. Very tongue-in-cheek. And I watch your YouTube videos and I end up breaking out laughing at some of the stuff you do. Who does that influence?
Well, believe it or not, Bill Jennings quoted, and Tiny Grimes quoted a lot of, like, you know, so Tiny Grimes go. So. I dream of Genie with the light, you know, don't sit under the apple tree with anybody but me. So I figured, hey, I'm going to take things of today. You know, like, I'll go. Or whatever, you know. I mean, I sit around and go, hey, how did that go?
Yeah.
And then I'll just try to sneak part of that in some song, and somebody goes, wait a minute, did I just really hear that?
There's some of it, it's like if it was the average player you'd see in a bar or some of the club, what you're playing, you're almost waiting for the mistake.
Well, I've been plenty of those, man.
It's like you just keep bulldozing through, and it's like, it's like tongue-in-cheek.
You know what, there's a fine line between a mistake. You know, Shaky Jake actually said that too to me. He goes, man, if you make a mistake, do it twice.
I think act like you mean it, right?
Act like you mean it, right? Nobody ever really knows the difference. I know when I'm doing it, you know, but I'm trying to go, for a lot of times I don't even really know where I'm at.
Yeah.
You know, I'll find something, I'll go, was that it? And I go, no, that ain't it, now what do I do? And I've lost actually on the guitar, but I'll make my way out of there somehow. Just forge through, yeah.
How do you play that one?
Okay, you go like this. First of all, play it in A, right?
Just an A.
Boop, boop. Third. Oh no, keep your finger here. Go like this.
What's the last one? How can I be number 3, right?
I think you're going down to 4 now.
Okay. Just feel rough. Any more questions? Before I forget your other song, and you know, because we got our
Do we
hit
already
song.
do the other song?
Yeah, but I don't think it was broadcast, right? People lost it, so we got to do that one again.
Oh.
So anything else in closing before we go?
I'm going to go to the UFC fights, man.
So anything in closing you want to say, or?
Are all you guys students?
Yeah.
Well, then keep up the work, man, because I'll tell you what, if you really enjoy this music, it's a great way to get away from home, playing and see the world and play and see other bands playing great music, and you know, I don't ever regret being a musician.
Cool. Let's play a song out and call it good. And again, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, and thank you guys for wonderful questions and being here.